This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by Sickle CAI. Sickle CAI. Okay, well now I'm standing here with Sandy from Nashua, who moved to New Hampshire back in
2005.
Okay, great. And what was the hardest thing for you about moving to New Hampshire?
Well, I moved here by myself, and my family is back in California where I came from, so I left my entire family behind and got rid of a lot of my possessions and just drove across the country by myself with what would fit in my car. And I didn't really know anyone here except via the internet, but it was really easy to meet people face to face and, you know, find a job, make new friends.
What was the trigger that made you want to move to New Hampshire?
Well, I'm a member of the Free State Project. That was the primary reason. So I joined the Free State Project before New Hampshire was even selected as the Free State, and then once it was selected, it actually wasn't my first choice, but I pouted about the choice of New Hampshire for about a weekend and then got over it, and now I'm very happy about the choice. I think that it was a good choice, and yeah, I love New Hampshire.
How did you learn about the Free State Project?
It was pretty random. I am on an email mailing list, and someone happened to provide a hyperlink to the Free State Project website, which is freestateproject.org, and I clicked on it just to follow it, and I was immediately fascinated by the idea.
How hard was it for you, or how easy to find a house?
Oh, it was very easy. I moved here 3 years ago this month, actually, and about a month before actually moving here, I flew out here from California, and I stayed in a hotel for a week and met some of the people that I knew via the internet, and I met a couple of other Free Staters who live here in Manchester who own houses and rent out rooms to other people. So I visited both their houses, and I got to meet them face to face and see what kind of people they were, and so I decided to rent a room from one of them.
What's your area of expertise professionally?
I work in the computer software industry.
How easy was it for you to find a job, or how difficult?
It was very easy. I moved here when I was still in graduate school, so I was taking my final courses via the internet, and then once I finished my program, I needed to find a job pretty quickly because I had very little savings left. And I actually got my job from participating in one of the online discussion forums that a lot of other Free Staters visit. It's nhfree.com. I posted on there that I was looking for work, and I posted some of my skills, and a woman contacted me and said, send me your resume because I think you might fit in well at my company, and I ended up getting a job there, and it's a great job. I could not be more pleased with it.
What's something that's improved in your life since you moved here, Sandy?
Oh, many things. I like New Hampshire much better than California. I have a much bigger social circle here than I ever did in California, just for my various activities in small government activism and no government activism. I've met dozens of people and can go to parties, go to bars, and hang out with people whenever I choose. We go shooting. In California once I wanted to go shooting, and I literally had to place a personal ad in the newspaper because I didn't know a single person who was into guns. But here, I hardly know anyone who's not into guns. And I don't pay income tax. Don't pay sales tax, so that works out very well financially for me. There's no traffic to speak of. You never have to hunt for a parking space. The quality of life here is just much better in many ways.
Speaking of non-political versus small political activists, what's your take on the whole sort of split, between people who are just totally anti-political and people who do inside the system political activism?
That's a good question, and actually my opinion of that has changed rather radically fairly recently. Until recently I was a small government activist, and I didn't really understand no government activists. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, things like civil disobedience and refusing to vote and that sort of thing. And I've sort of had a mental sea change recently where I've come to the conclusion that politics is immoral, and so now I'm on the opposite side of the divide in a sense where I no longer wish to participate in small government activism because I don't think that it's leading in the right direction. To make the standard slavery analogy, if you believe slavery is wrong, the way to fight it is not to work for better conditions for the slaves. The way to fight it is to work for the abolition of slavery. So I still am not 100% sure how to reconcile the two movements. I know people on both sides of the divide. I like them all, and I enjoy all of their company, but I don't really agree with all of their actions. So it's kind of a complicated question.
Well, of course, it's always important to remind folks that it's not a huge divide. I mean, it's there. People are not like at each other's throats or anything like that. Most of these folks are friends with one another who are on both sides of this ideological divide. But I did have one question with regard to the kind of activism that you're involved in. What's a favorite memory of activism that you have from all the different activist things that you've done?
A favorite memory, I guess, would be 2 years ago when I was involved with the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance, which is a in-state organization that works to further liberty via the state legislature, and we were working to fight an proposed ban on smoking in New Hampshire restaurants and bars. And against all odds, we succeeded in defeating the bill by one vote in the state Senate. And that was a really amazing feeling. I remember being huddled in the basement of the State House with about 10 other Free Staters and New Hampshire activists because the State House had been packed with pro-ban supporters, so they wouldn't let us in to sit and watch the proceedings. We were relegated to the basement and had to tune in via someone's laptop to listen to the proceedings over the streaming audio and the internet. But we won, and that was a really great feeling. Unfortunately, the following year, the ban passed anyway.
Yeah, well, tyranny moves everywhere, but moves here just a little bit slower. What's the type of activism do you enjoy being involved in the most usually?
Well, that's the kind of activism that I've done the most since I moved to New Hampshire. I've been involved with the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire and the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance, and I helped work for a budget cap here in Manchester a few years ago. I haven't really been involved in those sorts of activities except for the LP recently. I've only recently made this mental shift of sort of being opposed to politics on moral grounds. And frankly, I'm looking for new activities and ways to express those beliefs.
Oh, we'll find something for you. Sandy from Nashua, thank you.
Sure.
This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by SACL, C-A-I. They're a company that does collections a whole new way. They know that not only do you want your money back, you want to keep your customers. SACL, C-A-I. They collect with respect.